All right, so I need some help on whether or not I'm continuing Delicious in Dungeons. The answer is probably going to be yes, because the author of Chainsaw Man, Fujimoto, apparently recommends this series, and I love Chainsaw Man. So if he recommends it, I think I'm obligated to read it all. But I don't know, because it's not feeling like, for me, the premise of this is very interesting in terms of a group of adventurers going into a dungeon and then like cooking monsters, and the main focus is on the meals they create, but like the humor sometimes is just like around eating weird creatures and first being like, ew, that's gross, I'm not eating that, and then it turns out, oh, that's delicious. There's a little bit of slapstick humor going on. There's the dynamic between the characters I'm not all that fond of. Like, this is not a there's character work done. Don't let me say that there's not. They are all have like a unique personality and trait, which is fine, but not explored upon to the point that I want in terms of the dynamics between them. We have more dynamic between missing party member, and this is where my issue comes in, because the part that I like the best is the connection that they have to their missing party member, who's a mage, whose name I never did learn. That's another thing. I know I like a series when I take the time to actually learn their names. I suck at names, obviously. Like, people in real life, I suck at remembering names. I need to put it in my phone and try to connect the name written down to the face of the person I know. It takes me a while to learn an actual person's name, let alone a character in a TV show. I know I like a series when I know the names. I am, what, how many episodes into this? 14. I'm 14 episodes in this. I don't know a single character's name. You have the blondes, hero, knight guy, adventurer. You have the little ones, half foot with the traps. You got the mage girl, and you got the dwarf guy with an axe who's good at cooking. Like, I don't know their names. And then you have Sister, who is missing. I will learn their names now for this review. I should. Oh, for the record, this is not me hating on the series. It's a very well executed on what it wants to be. I'm just wondering, is it for me? This is a very well executed series, beautiful animation. The tone is what it wants it to be. The story is what it wants it to be. I'm not saying anything needs to change for it. I'm just wondering, is this series for me? So you have Phelan. She is the sister of the protagonist guy, Laos. We're going with Laos. And their connection, we get flashbacks of them as kids, them adventuring together, so I like their dynamic. Then we have the other mage in the party, Marcel, I think, and her and Fallen have been students at the same magic school, and I really love their flashback episode. It really goes into how she wants to explore dungeons and understand the ecosystem, and really understands that though she's very good in magic, she doesn't understand all the connections in a real-world situation, and doesn't have the intuition that Fallen does, and Fallen being so much powerful, and not realizing, really, the power that she has naturally. So I love their connection dynamic there. However, my complete issue with this series is where the focus lies, because the series wants to focus on just cooking monsters. And that is great. That I would be enjoying this story if that is just where the focus is. The issue is, episode 1 opens with Fallen getting eaten by a dragon. And I'm like, oh damn, okay, so the party wants to get to the lower levels of the dungeon again to go rescue her because they have a slow digestive time that they likely, if she was swallowed whole, they can still save her. But therefore, there is a time crunch. Granted, we assume we have a lot of time to get there because not moving around very much, slow to digestion. We probably got a couple months to get down there. But we still need to get down there. Your sister and friend has just been eaten by a dragon. We have party members leaving because they were just in it for the money, and it's ridiculous to think that they can make it down to those lower levels without Fallen's power. It's ridiculous to expect them to fight a dragon all over again after they just got decimated by said dragon. And they don't have the time to train, and they don't have the money for the equipment and the food and the storage to get down there. So it makes sense that, okay, let's go down to we'll eat monsters in the dungeon because we can't afford food. And we'll deal with our lack of equipment as we go. So there is an explanation given, but the focus never feels like, let's go get to my sister as soon as possible. And that really makes me hate the brother a little bit, because he's really more focused on, I want to eat that walking suit of armor rather than I want to go down and save my sister. It's just the narrative focus for me. If the first episode had been removed and it's just a party searching for adventure, wanting to get to the lower levels of the mine, or even they got kicked out of their apartments, house, whatever, huts, they probably have inns. And because they can't afford it, they don't have the money, and they're like, okay, well, let's just go live in a dungeon. And they're like, how do we live in a dungeon? Well, we got to eat monsters. And like going down the different levels for whatever reason, and then running into a party and learning someone unrelated to them had been eaten by a dragon, and them just wanting to eat a dragon at this point. So they want to go fight the dragon, or they want to help this other group that friend has been eaten by a dragon. That would work so much better for me if you just remove the first episode, because my issue is the focus is not getting to her to save her. It's, I want to eat the monsters. And it makes me hate the brother, because how weak is your connection with your sister that you're not rushing to save her? So when they do get to her eventually and stuff happens that I won't mention, I'm like, gee, I bet you wish you didn't spend so much time running around hunting or gardening on golems or something like that. Like, there should have been more agency to them. This was not a story that I felt needed that slower pacing. The slower pacing works if they weren't rushing to get to the sister before time ran out, even if they thought they had more time. So that is my issue with the series. It is an issue with the pacing and the focus of the story. The story wants to be a fun, lighthearted comedy, cooking monsters, fun take on dungeon mastering, whatever. But then why have the time crunch? Why have the sister in the dragon's stomach? I am rambling, but that is my only issue, really, with the story. Going into slightly more spoilery, I like how in the last couple episodes we get this mad mage of the dungeon. And the connection with old kings, and there's the elves in the distance wanting the dungeon back after it had been handed over. I like that something's going on with, they created these monsters for a reason, and now Fallen has become a dragon. Has her spirit and the dragon spirit been put into one body, and now she's also changed into a different form that we haven't seen yet. There's something going on with her and the Mad Mage now. So interesting dynamics are being set up. Another issue I had was with the lack of consequences, because if a human dies in the dungeon, then their soul is more or less trapped there. So no matter how destroyed the body is, you can always put the soul back in and heal it up. So it's really a lack of consequences and stakes here, it feels like, because one party member is like shot through the head, killed, and like, oh damn, because there are some bloody tone switching moments in this series that I really enjoy, especially like chopping up the monsters. It reminds me of Hannibal a little bit. But all of a sudden, dwarf guy, hand on head, blood goes back in, she's fine. And I'm like, we couldn't kill her off? We couldn't kill off a character? I don't know. It would have been an unsuspected death that I didn't see coming. I would have stayed shocked. So I'm not a big fan of resurrection being so easy in this. You got a party whose whole thing is they keep getting killed off and brought back to life. And I am interested in seeing what happens with them, though. They have a unique dynamic in terms of wanting to take over the dungeon, defeat the Mad Mage, not wanting the siblings to do it. I don't know if they're going to become, I think they're going to become antagonistic, but I don't really know for certain. I'm interested in them. So what has been now set up in the later half in terms of, now we are really set on, I'm going to save my sister, I'm going to save Fallon, that is the priority right now. But that means we're going to have a shift away from the eating monsters, maybe? I don't know, because that was what the first part was so focused on. But now we have the Mad Mage, a history, something going on with the elves, and this other party. Things have been set up that I'm interested in. And I also like the focus on ecosystems as a whole. If you kill off too many lower monsters, then the medium monsters don't have as much to feed on, which leads to the the higher monsters being affected and them having to go up hot in higher levels. So you usually have like scary big bad monsters in the lower levels, but if you kill off their food source, they're going to have to go up to in search of food, which will lead to them eventually leaving the dungeon and affecting the town, which will lead more adventurers to going in and fighting monsters to push them back down, and just having to find that right balance in the ecosystem. I like that focus. So I'm really happy I did continue as far as I have, because originally I only made it like 3 to 4 episodes in, and the focus being just on the monsters and not Get To Sister was really bothering me. The humor wasn't landing for me. I didn't really like the characters. It's not a character focus story. The plot isn't where I wanted it to be. It was not a for me story. So I had initially dropped it completely on episode 3, I think. Might have only been 3, might have been 4, don't know. But then I was told the creator of Chainsaw Man recommends the series. I'm like, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to continue. And I am very happy that I watched all that's been released so far. Will this become what I'm looking for? Is what I'm asking right now. Is there trauma? Is there a more focused storyline? I don't like a meandering plot. I also don't like low stakes. So the being able to be resurrected so easily without consequence, though, is what I don't like. And the fact that the mage girl, starts with an M, Marcel, I'm going with that. She's using ancient magic, which may or may not be like dark elf magic. I feel like there will be consequences, because the last couple episodes got decently dark. So if there is a consequence, and I'm assuming the locking of the soul is related to the mad mage elf, who's apparently a guy. It looked like a girl to me. Relationship with the king, a fallen king, because it was a human king, I'm pretty sure. It's going to come into play. I can feel a consequence coming. I can feel reason. I can feel stakes. Will I like it? You don't have to give spoilers. Just based on what I like, do you think I will enjoy Delicious in Dungeons if I continue on? Because it's went from not my thing to slowly becoming my thing. I can see potential. I'm looking for trauma. I'm looking for an interesting plot and good character work. Those are what I look for in a story. So yes or no, will I like this? All right, that is all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.